A beach can be a good place to unwind your day, but it seems there is more danger hovering around the beach that if you're not careful, you might end up regretting spending time on the beach. Like this stonefish that leaves a beachgoer in agony. And we also have this beach apple that can kill you on your first bite. But first, let's look how dangerous a shark can be to any beachgoer out there. Number 10. Sharks. As much as a shark may look friendly, don't ever be deceived by its welcoming smile. This monster is dangerous and can crush you into pieces in seconds. You'll know what I mean after you realize that the great white shark is the largest predatory fish on Earth. I mean, with that kind of assertion, almost any beachgoer wants to be careful because, hey, this grinding machine can turn you into an evening meal without even a warning. It's no wonder there's been an increase in shark attacks in recent years. That should sound like a warning to any tourist to remain on the lookout for these monsters because their bite can be very painful. Though a shark is considered not very aggressive and rarely bites people, the location you go swimming and how you behave before a shark may determine whether it will attack you or swim away. So when you go to the beach, perhaps the biggest mistake you can commit is to start toying around with the shark. You never know when it will attack. Be sure to check with the local authorities to be alert for the presence of sharks at any beach you visit. Number 9. Stonefish. The stonefish is one of the ugliest sea creatures we have around thanks to its stone-like appearance and color. This fish, which majorly occupies the Indian Pacific Ocean, is venomous, dangerous, and fatal to human beings. In fact, it's considered the most venomous fish known on the planet. Unfortunately, due to its appearance, you're more likely to suffer an attack from this fish, especially considering that it's good at camouflaging. Ordinarily, a stonefish blends perfectly with the surroundings, which helps it to hide in the sand, waiting for prey. And the moment prey passes, the stonefish jumps to capture the meal. Besides, it has 13 dorsal spines which it uses to penetrate its enemy and inject a toxic venom. The moment you mistakenly step on it, it injects a huge amount of venom through the spines, which can cause paralysis, shock, and even death. A victim of a stonefish bite is encouraged to seek quick medical attention because death occurs in the next few hours. So, well, you better be careful because a misplaced foot in the Indian Pacific Oceans can result in a terrible venomous injection from this dangerous fish. Number 8. Stingrays. As much as you should be on the lookout for stonefish while on the beach, there's still another sea creature that is good at hiding in the sand that you equally need to be careful of, and that is the stingray. This unique cartilaginous fish is so good at camouflaging that you might not see it once it hides in the sand in the shallow coastal waters. Stingray may seem to be a friend to man, but perhaps that's when you're swimming together and they don't feel threatened. However, the moment you step on it while it's buried in the sand, a ray whips its barbed tail with lightning speed into your body, leaving you with deep wounds. Most accidents involving stingrays happen every year, and a majority of them occur when a swimmer accidentally steps on a ray. So as you can see, their attack is an act of defense and not necessarily an act of aggression. Number 7. Jellyfish. While you might have been told that most jellyfish are harmless, which is true of course, one thing you need to keep in mind is that a certain species of jellyfish can be lethal. They have long tentacles which help them to move around swiftly, and those that sting pack a painful punch in those tentacles. But it may not be an easy job detecting the stingless jellyfish from those that sting, considering their wide range of shapes, sizes, and behaviors. Therefore, as a rule of thumb, stay on the safe side from these beautiful gelatinous creatures while you're on the beach. I don't just say this to frighten you, but I mean, this creature can cost you your precious life. For instance, the Australian box jellyfish, which occupies the ocean waters of North Australia, is considered the most venomous marine animal in the world. That makes them dangerous to any man who might want to toy with them. In fact, according to Indo-Pacific research, the Australian box jellyfish causes over 100 deaths annually. Number 6. Shore breaks. If there is one underestimated danger on the beach, then it must be a shore break. I mean, people have taken this phenomenon as normal that beachgoers would want to surf inside such a life-threatening wave. If you're interacting with this word for the first time, a shore break is a phenomenon where a wave breaks on the sand or the surface of shallow water. Shore breaks are generally very violent that if you're not an expert, you're likely to die from the shock of the mighty water that surrounds you, leaving you in a narrow funnel. But this wave becomes lethal when surfers wrongly time its movement, causing the shore break to throw them to the ground with a dominant force. Sometimes a swimmer or a surfer may be caught unknowingly in the shallow water of this wave as they try to escape. The wave crashes upon them with full force, leading to spinal injuries, neck injuries, or even death. Number 5. Harmful algal bloom. Harmful algal bloom, which is also called red tide, is dangerous to humans, marine life, and other animals in general. Algal blooms can appear like foam, scum, mats, or paint on the surface of the water, and they can even make the water appear in different colors, including green, blue, red, or brown. They are caused by microscopic algae that produce toxins that can lead to diarrhea, cramps, vomiting, or even death and affect the environment. The toxin has been blamed for the mass die-off of fish and usually makes the surrounding air difficult to breathe. A recent incident involving the toxic algae that caught the attention of marine biologists is this mass die-off of a fish at a black sandy beach in Russia's Far East region of Kamchatka. During the incident, surfers and beachgoers were also affected by the toxin. They complained of a burning sensation in their eyes. Algal blooms are common in lakes and oceans across the world, which means just about any beachgoer might be at risk. Luckily, authorities remain alert to curb the spread of algal blooms. Number 4. Asian hornets. You're probably wondering why we're bringing an insect the size of a bee on this list, right? Well, wait until you realize that it causes about 50 deaths each year in Asia alone. It's no wonder the Asian hornet is nicknamed murder hornet. Now, as much as that number of deaths may, well, sound small, it's big enough to make us want to be careful the next time we're handling Asian hornets. The Asian hornet, which is a solitary creature, is one of the biggest species as it can reach up to 3 inches in length. Though they are known to be harmful to honeybees and can wipe out an entire hive, they still pose danger to man, especially at the beach. Their sting is not lethal but can result in an allergic reaction that can cause death. Also, their venom produces a special chemical that attracts other hornets to a victim, which can accelerate the impact of an attack. Number 3. Rip currents. If you've been to any beach, you probably have witnessed this kind of tide, only that you didn't know it can be lethal. Rip currents, also called undertow or riptides, are narrow currents in the surf zone that move quickly away from the shore. A typical riptide tends to range between 50 to 100 feet wide and can extend about 100 yards offshore. They are difficult to spot, but the most dangerous thing is that they can move at a dangerous speed of 5 miles an hour, which is faster than an Olympic swimmer. So you can tell without asking that they are potentially dangerous and can even cause death. In fact, about 80% of lifeguard rescues are a result of rip currents, and about 100 people die every year due to rip currents. So anytime you're on the beach and spot a rip current, just run for your safety or call for help. Number 2. Falling coconuts. We all love the scenic view and cozy atmosphere that coconut trees bring to beaches around the world. And so most of us would want to lounge under a coconut tree's shade even as we enjoy the cool ocean breeze. But maybe it's because we've not been advised just how lethal coconut trees can be. I mean, anyone who has seen how the 9-pound fruit falls with an incredible impact can attest that these trees are better off out of the beach. And that's true because falling coconut fruits have been blamed for causing deaths at the beach. On average, 150 people die each year from coconuts falling on their heads, which is 15 times more than deaths that result from shark attacks. It's no wonder officials in Queensland, Australia decided to remove all coconut trees from their beaches back in 2002. But it's not just coconut fruits alone that can be lethal. Even falling coconut trees is a common occurrence, and you need to be on the watch out anytime you're on the beach. Number 1. Poisonous manchineel tree. Sometimes when we're on the beach, we get tempted to pick just about any fruit we meet to satisfy our hunger. But be advised that not all fruits that look attractive on the beach are edible. Some, like this one here that looks pretty much like a normal apple, are not to be touched, let alone putting them in your mouth. The manchineel tree produces these small green apples on the Florida coastline, but it has a bad reputation for being lethal. In fact, the manchineel tree is considered the most toxic tree in the world and has earned a spot in the Guinness Book of Records for its milky white sap and green fruits that are very toxic. That means everything about this tree is lethal. Eating its fruits can cause internal bleeding and vomiting, and when its sap gets in contact with your skin, it can cause a blister, but when inhaled, the sap can block airways, leading to death. Thanks for watching.